Quasi here, and in this video, I'm going to share with you the lost art of semen retention and how to use this to transmute sexual energy so that you can become a conscious creator of your life. And by the end of this video, I'm going to share with you 2 keys to show you how to properly transmute sexual energy. So make sure you stick around till the end of this video to find out. Before I begin this video, I want to quickly announce that I'm doing a free giveaway of my book, Life Mastery. If you're interested and want to win this book for free in the ebook format, just comment Life Mastery down below. And also, I'm super excited to announce that the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery program is open. So if you want to jump on a call to see if you qualify for the program, if it would be a good fit to work together and help you take your life to the next level, make sure you click on the link in the description below. With that, let's get started. So first of all, I want to talk to you about semen retention. And I actually made a video about this before. Make sure you click up here to check that out. And why it's so powerful and why, so many people are missing out on this. And, semen retention, it comes from a lot of ancient books, hundreds and hundreds of years ago, and how they used to practice this to basically transmute this energy into other areas of their lives. This is basically an urge, a human urge. But the thing is, your semen, 40 drops of blood produces 1 drop of semen. 40 drops of blood is used to produce 1 drop of semen. So you can see how powerful of a life force this is. And in Sanskrit, in yoga, we call this as vidya. Vidya is semen, but also life force. This is an extreme pranic substance. So if you keep this life force within you, you become more livelier within yourself. Now, with that being said, let's get to understanding how to transmute this energy. So first of all, semen retention, what it does is it opens up more possibilities for you. And this opens up possibilities that you thought wouldn't be possible before, because these were not in your sphere of view or your reticular activating system. You weren't focused on this. These opportunities weren't presenting themselves to you because you were insensitive enough to receive them. So when you retain semen, you see that other avenues of life become more and more open to you. Okay? This goes not just for men, but also for women. If you, get to a point where you don't engage in compulsive behaviors, not just sex, not just masturbation, but any other extremely stimulating behavior, you'll see that other avenues of your life that were previously closed to you become more and more open. Why that is because when you engage in compulsive behavior, you're basically taking your attention that was focused, here or here or here, and then you turn them focused in one direction, right? So these 3 units become one whole unit in one direction, whatever it is that you are focusing on in your life, whether this be business, whether this be creative endeavors. If you look at people who are extremely creative, people like Albert Einstein, he used to practice semen retention as well, right? So all of these people use this system in their lives, and I personally do that myself. Now, what you've got to understand is that when you become less compulsive, then automatically you become more conscious. Okay? So this is why the fad of minimalism has become more and more alive. You'll see that mankind right now is moving to more and more consciousness. Now, an interesting observation of this is if you look at society as a whole, we're sort of dependent on laws, on ethics, on morality. But the whole argument of morality is really flawed, because why should someone have to tell me that I shouldn't murder my neighbor and that it's illegal? Why should I be motivated by the fact that, it's illegal to do, I shouldn't do it? I should be motivated to not murder my neighbor. That thought shouldn't even come in my mind because I love my neighbor, right? So we're seeing that we're moving from more survival instincts to more thrival instincts, okay? This is going from a place of force to a place of power. If you look at David R. Hawkins' stuff, he said for the first time ever, humanity's overcome that lower level of force and have come up to a level of power. So this is the evolution of mankind. This is why consciousness activities, people are waking up, why this is happening. So you got to catch up to it, or else you might get left behind. So essentially, if you eliminate, right, this is a minimalistic act. If you eliminate anything that doesn't serve your goal, all there is left is for you to go towards your goals, right? So if I put my phone away and just eliminate distractions, then what's the opposite of distraction? Focus. Focus naturally ensues. You don't have to fight against something. You know, the activation energy required to distract yourself, it goes down. If I don't put unhealthy food in my fridge, then there won't be the temptation. There won't be the slipping back. So that's the only thing you've got to do. You've got to get out of compulsivity. Eliminate compulsivity, and you'll get into more and more consciousness. If you eliminate the compulsive act of jerking off, of masturbating, of spilling your seed, you'll see that naturally you'll get to more and more consciousness, more and more consciousness-raising activities. And what you also got to understand is that the less stimulated you are, the more sensitive you are. Okay? So what we're doing right now, you know, I remember as a teen, I would masturbate a lot. And I thought this was just a normal thing to do. You know, I thought that, oh, you know, everyone does it, all my friends do it, and they're saying this is the natural thing to do. You just have to clear it. You know, you have to get rid of it. You have to clear it. But it's kind of like, you know, oh, bloodletting. When the ancient Romans would practice bloodletting, where they would just, you know, bleed themselves and get rid of excessive blood that builds up in the body. But you don't have to do that. This is a natural system. It regulates itself. But when you practice the act of semen retention, that kind of energy gets transmuted into other areas of your life automatically without you having to do anything, because you become more and more sensitive to it. When you start to do more stimulating activities, what happens is your brain becomes more and more dull. Your whole nervous system becomes more and more dull. As a result of that, things that would excite you once don't excite you anymore. You can't see the little pleasures in your life. Ask yourself right now, are you able to just spend a whole day in a room without doing anything? Just even sit quietly for 10 minutes. Most people aren't able to do that. Most people have to keep themselves stimulated. That's why they become slaves to this, you know, shiny object syndrome. They got to look for the next thing that gives them a high. You know, this is why relationships nowadays, they fail, why divorce rates are so high. Because people have been accustomed to looking at pornography, or they've been accustomed to meeting a lot of different women, experiencing this, you know, experiencing the extremely high stimulating activities, high sexual encounters. Those kinds of activities, they keep you stimulated all the time. So you get wired differently. When you watch pornography, you get wired. Your brain literally becomes smaller, and it starts to seek for external pleasures. Now, I have no problem with pleasure, but I would rather settle for the higher pleasures of life than the lower pleasures. Now, I had a question on the last video where people said, why can't we have both? Because you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's as simple as that. When you go for the lower pleasures of life, you automatically sacrifice the higher pleasures. Now, what I mean by a higher pleasure in life is delayed gratification. Okay, when I don't, let's say, eat junk food and don't watch Netflix. Instead, I eat healthy food and I go to the gym. I become healthier within myself. I become more muscular. I look in the mirror and I feel good. Throughout the day, my energy levels remain constant. So what the higher pleasures of life is the ability to sustain a high, okay? Most people get spikes of high, but the higher pleasures of life give you that sustained high and give you conscious control of when you can summon this high. This is why ancient yogis, you know, they work towards enlightenment. They delay every single gratification now. They work towards enlightenment and spiritual evolution, right? So you can sustain that high and maintain your awareness in that high. It is completely possible to get completely ecstatic within yourself, maintain that state, and just be drunk in daily life, but also maintain your awareness. When you get drunk through external stimulants, you get a high now, but you have to pay back the debt later. With drawing your state from within, if you can summon that state from within, get to spiritual psychosis, you don't have to pay that debt back because you're taking it from within yourself and you pay it back within yourself, right? So there is no adding and subtracting going on. So the less stimulated you are, the more sensitive you are to life. More hunches, more opportunities start to present themselves to you that you previously wouldn't have seen. This is the single biggest reason why semen retention and eliminating all compulsive, highly stimulating activities just naturally makes you more of a conscious creator, naturally makes you a powerful manifestor of your life. Okay? What excessive stimulation is can be in the form of food, where you eat a lot of spicy food, flavorful food. Think about it this way. If I eat a lot of spicy food, the next time I have something spicy, my tongue is going to be dull to it, right? The spice isn't going to be as effective. I'll need more spice to make me feel more flavor. So your taste buds just get dulled. And with drugs, when you use an external stimulant to feel a certain way within, ineffective, because now you're dependent, you're reliant, you're nothing. Even with food, if you need a certain kind of food, you just can't, you become too religious about it, then you're just a slave to food. You're a slave to drugs. With notifications, when your brain gets that dopamine spike, you check your notifications first thing in the morning. Same effect happens. It's kind of like with drugs. You get the same dopamine spike. Might as well snort a line of coke. I mean, maybe you don't get the physiological disadvantages, but your brain still functions in the same way. It still gets that spike, which makes you more and more dull to everyday life. With social media, with pornography literally wires your brain to make it smaller and the neural networks even smaller. With TV shows that excite you, excessively engage you, you'll see that you're less prone to reading books and actually gaining knowledge that gives you that delayed gratification. It takes 30 minutes to get into a book. It takes 5 minutes to get some high from a quick video you watch on TikTok or on YouTube, right? And all of these activities leave one dull to life, becoming dull and less sensitive to life, even with caffeine. I used to drink a lot of coffee every single day, and I saw that I couldn't function without it. So I became a slave to caffeine. It takes a lot of awareness to realize that. Most people don't realize that. They think, oh, what's the harm? You only live one life anyways. If you live one life, why not live it the best way you can? Why not build yourself to achieve and become the best version of yourself that you can be, right? So all of these things, they leave you dull to life. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't do them, but it's just understanding, are you becoming dependent to it? Are these activities running you, or are you running these activities, right? So you got to selectively use these activities. You have to selectively brainwash yourself to be able to achieve what you want in life, okay? So now, with that being said, I want to share with you 2 keys that's going to help you transmute this sexual energy, this compulsive energy, into something that becomes more conscious and more focused, as I showed up here. So key number 1 is to, first of all, avoid all intensely stimulating activities there are in your life, okay? Whether this be, excessively flavorful foods, whether this be, drugs, whether this be checking your notifications every 5 minutes, whether this be social media, pornography, TV shows that stimulate you, quick videos that stimulate you. Cut all of that out. And only use them to reward yourself after you've done something good. After you want to, basically, if you want to wire in a good behavior, use these excessively stimulating activities as a reward. Okay? So let's say you want to start meditating and you meditated. Oh, because I meditated today, I get to watch a Netflix show. Cool. And then you start to connect that activity with this reward. So you keep doing more and more of this activity. Over time, you don't need the reward anymore because this has become a habit. Number 2, practice semen retention. Okay, this is extremely powerful. And the problem with this is most people relapse within the first 7 days. All right. Why that happens is because the first 7 days are the hardest. This is when your hormones cycle. So the first 7 days I've personally found are always the hardest. You just have to push through that. If you push through the first 7 days, it becomes easier and easier. Right? When you go through this period when you're about to relapse, experience it fully. Fully experience that feeling. It's kind of like me when I have dinner, I always have to have dessert because dessert always gives me that high in my brain. I always have to have dessert and I just keep pounding into it. But after I eat dinner, if I actually don't jump directly to dessert and I drink a glass of water and I wait 15 minutes, the urge to have dessert goes away. So this urge to relapse comes in the form of just that, an urge. If you just experience it, you sit with that feeling, you watch it, you won't relapse. I'm serious, this is absolutely dangerous. If you just Sit with that feeling, observe it, quietly watch it. The urge to relapse won't be there anymore. Just wait for 15 minutes. And you'll see that any compulsive behavior you have, you can get rid of it just by doing this. This simple thing of just experiencing that feeling fully. Don't fight that feeling. It'll keep staying there. All you need to do is make it through the first 7 days. And you don't even need to do some certain activity to transmute the sexual energy. It will naturally be transmuted. If you just retain your semen, if you just retain, from masturbating, even for women, if you're, compulsively doing it within the first 7 days, if you just retain it, if you just stay like that, you will become naturally more sensitive to life. More avenues of life will open up to you, more ability to succeed in areas that you previously wouldn't have succeeded in, more drive to follow through. All of these avenues open up to you. All of these possibilities open up for you. Okay? So make sure you try this out. Right? So just to conclude, retaining and just becoming more conscious opens up more possibilities for you. Why that is because now your energy is frayed. It's going in all different directions. You're thinking about sex, you're thinking about food, you're thinking about all your survival instincts. When you stop doing that and you start retaining, you actually discipline yourself, then this happens. 3 units becomes 1 unit in one direction. And when you become less compulsive, you automatically become more conscious. The process of inversion, elimination. When you have less stimulants and less stimulating activities, you automatically become more sensitive to life. Excessive stimulants come in the form of food, in the form of drugs, and in the form of notifications, checking, social media, TV shows that excite you, TikTok videos, YouTube videos. You've got to check one after the other. You get into this rabbit hole and you can't get out of it. It's a dangerous place, right? And this just makes you, in general, overall dull to life. When you become dull to life, there's less sensitivity to it, less hunches. You won't be able to notice the sparks of genius that come within you. You won't be able to follow the instructions that make you a powerful manifester. And finally, the 2 keys are to avoid all intensely stimulating activities unless you're trying to wire in a good behavior. Number 2, practicing the art of semen retention, okay? And also just basically avoiding this compulsive behavior. The first 7 days are the hardest. And when you do get to a point where you're about to relapse, experience it fully. You're about to relapse into some compulsive behavior, just take a 5-minute pause before you do it. See if you still want to do it. See if it'd still be worth it. And with that, I conclude this video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you take advantage of the free one-to-one consult for the Reality Mastery Program. It's down below to see if we would be a good fit to work together and if I would be able to help you get to that next level in your life. So make sure you schedule a free call here if you were interested, because spots have opened up for a limited time only. And what the Reality Mastery Program is it's essentially the most powerful paradigm of manifestation. What I found in my personal life was that the only way to achieve any changes in my external world and permanently keep it was through changing my internal world completely. And the only way to change my internal world completely was through the method of identity shifting, okay? Who you become is what you achieve in your life. So make sure you take advantage of this opportunity by clicking on the link in the description below. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit that little bell there so you're notified of any new video that I put out, and let me know what topics you would like me to discuss in the comments down below. Love to know that. Also, make sure you take advantage of our free Facebook group. The link for that is down in the description below. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, peace.